You know, we all have stories, but have you ever stopped to think that your personal story could be more than just a memory? What if it was actually a powerful tool for research? A way to understand not just you, but the entire culture you live in? Well, that is the fascinating idea we're going to dive into today.
It's like author Liana Beatty says here, stories are everywhere, like air. They're not just for fun, right? They are the way we make sense of the world. I mean, they literally shape everything, from our friendships to what's happening on the world stage.
And yeah, that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? It's one thing to share a story from your life, but can you really call that research? Like rigorous research? How can something so personal, so subjective, stand up to real academic scrutiny?
Well, the answer is in this method, with, a kind of intimidating name, autoethnography. I know, it sounds super academic and complex, but trust me, if we just break down the word, it all starts to make perfect sense. Okay, let's do it. First up, auto. That's easy. It just means self. So this all starts with your own personal experience. Next, we have ethno. That part is about culture. It's about connecting your personal story to the bigger picture, the wider social world. And then graphy. This one just means writing. You know, the actual process of getting it all down and analyzing it. So let's put it all together. Autoethnography. It's a way of doing research where you use your own life, your auto, to explore and understand the ethno, the culture around you, through graphy or writing. It's basically the bridge connecting one person's story to the experience of a whole group of people. Now, it's really important to get this straight. This is not the same as writing an autobiography. An autobiography just tells your life story. Autoethnography uses your life story as data, as a lens to analyze a whole culture. The focus totally shifts from me to me as part of this world. But as you can probably guess, this whole idea stirred up a pretty big debate in the academic world. You could almost think of it as this epic battle between the heart and the brain of research. Okay, so on one side, you've got what we can call the evocative approach. Think of this as the storyteller's heart. The goal here is to make you feel something, to really connect emotionally with the story. And on the other side, the analytic approach. This is the scientist's brain. It's all about theory, staying distant and objective, and sticking to the classic rules of research. So you see the problem, right? This creates this huge tension. What's the point? Is it a moving story, or is it a rigorous analysis? And for a long, long time, researchers felt like they had to pick a side. And the stakes were really high. I mean, critics were saying, look, without that strict analysis, this stuff is just self-indulgent. It's more like therapy than actual social science. And wow, that's a pretty sharp criticism, one the field couldn't just ignore. So, how do you solve a problem like that? Well, this is where Liana Beatty comes in with a really brilliant new way of thinking. She came up with this elegant solution called symbiotic autoethnography. The key word here is symbiosis. You've probably heard it in biology class, right? It's when two different things have this close relationship that benefits both of them. You know, like a clownfish and a sea anemone, they help each other out, and each one gets stronger because of the other. And this is so important. This isn't just some boring compromise. It's not about watering down both sides to find a middle ground. No, it's about creating a brand new, dynamic model where the heart and the brain, the story and the analysis actually work together. They make each other better, and the final result is way stronger than either one could ever be on its own. Beatty has this fantastic analogy to explain it. She says this symbiotic approach is not like a mosaic, where you have all these little pieces stuck in place forever. Instead, think of it more like droplets of oil on the surface of water. They can float around, they can merge together, they can expand, or even move apart. It's this incredibly fluid, dynamic, and interconnected way of thinking. Okay, that sounds cool, but how does it actually work? Well, Beatty lays out 7 key features that make up this whole fluid model. And the trick is, they're all working together, in symbiosis. So if you look at the model here, you can really see it. You have these 7 features, everything from the emotional storytelling part to the hardcore analysis part. And they're not in separate boxes. They overlap. They influence each other, just like those oil droplets. It all comes together to create this really rich, interconnected way of understanding things. Okay, to really get a feel for this, let's just zoom in and look at one of these 7 features. We can see how this whole symbiotic idea actually creates some powerful new insights.
Let's take a look at this one, autoethnographic temporality. It's a fancy way of saying that our memories aren't perfect video recordings. They're more like what she calls a present past. It's how we remember things now in the present, and that can change over time. So here's the symbiotic part. You have the emotional memory, the feeling of the past, working together with the analytic part, which helps you understand why you remember it that way today. See how they help each other? All right, so let's zoom back out. What's the big takeaway here? Symbiotic autoethnography. It isn't just another boring research method on a long list. It's a whole new way of knowing, a new way of understanding the world. And it proves that our individual stories really, really matter. So what are the big things to remember from all this? First, and most importantly, your personal story can be a powerful tool for understanding culture, for sure. Second, this symbiotic model is so cool because it solves that old fight between the heart and the brain, blending feeling with theory. And finally, putting them together doesn't just make the research better, it creates a whole new, much richer way of producing knowledge. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. For you, what if you looked at your own stories, your own life, through this kind of lens, blending how you feel with a bigger cultural picture? What deeper truths might you discover about the world you're living in right now?